see it on my screen. Do you want me to click it for you, Roz?
Got it.
Someone did it.
Got it.
Roz, you must have got it because it asked permission to record, so.
Okay. So, yay, it worked. Thank you. All right. Now I would like to welcome Josh Stern, Vice President for Student Services and Dean of Students, to say a few words on what it is like to lead in challenging times. And I will stop sharing. Whoa.
All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, hello everyone. As Roz said, normally we would be doing this over a delicious dinner. And instead, I think I ate dinner over my sink in an effort to get here on time. So I miss being with all of you in person and having a delicious sit-down dinner. And because this is one of my favorite events of the year. So it is good to be with you, albeit virtually. Roz did ask me to say a few words about leadership in challenging times. And I struggle to find a challenging time to talk about. Just kidding. All right, so before we get there, I just want to, as always, thank the planning team who works so hard on the Griffin Student Leadership Institute. So that would be Dr. Roz and Mary Jo and Allie. Thank you so much for all you do to plan this program and to work with getting our mentors and getting the students involved in this program. It's such a wonderful program. So I thank you all for your hard work. And again, this is a difficult task to pull off during this challenging time. So thank you for all of your efforts. Of course, I want to thank the internal and external mentors for giving of your time and talent to really meet and spend positive, impactful time with these student leaders. It's really what defines the program, and it's so greatly appreciated. So thank you to all of our mentors for your participation in this program. And last but certainly not least, thank you to our 11 incredible rock star exceptional leaders. The fact that all of you have such busy lives and busy academic and co-curricular schedules and personal lives, especially in light of the pandemic, and you're willing to take on this program to not only become exceptional leaders, but exceptional mercy leaders, it's fantastic. So thank you all to our students for participating in this program. And I'm excited for you because you're going to have a fantastic experience. So, leading in challenging times. I did use my experience along with Dr. Mary Van Brunt and Kelly Statmore, who are here with me. Our executive leadership team here at the university worked with so many other people across the university in our pandemic response. So I have 9 takeaways, and I promise that I will go quickly, but 9 takeaways for what it was like to lead through this challenging time and to continue to monitor and manage this challenging time. First, stay calm. My goodness, it felt like the world was exploding in March. And in some instances, it really was. I mean, things turned upside down for us. But a panicky leader is not a confident leader and is not someone that your people want to work with or follow. So at some point, you have to look yourself in the eye or look in the mirror and say, okay, take a breath. I've got this. If I don't have it, I will figure it out, and I will use my resources to figure it out. But staying calm is incredibly important. With that being said, you also have to know your limits. Sometimes as leaders, we think we have to have the answers to everything and we have to be able to fix everything. And that's just simply not the case. We have our emotional limits. We have limits to our functional knowledge and just our skill set. So that's why it's important to understand that it's okay not to have all the answers, because you just don't. What is not okay is not to find those answers. So as a leader, you have to take the initiative to do the work to find the answers. And if you can't find the answers yourself, you always need to rely on your team. I couldn't be successful and really satisfied in the work that I do if I didn't have not only the incredible leadership team that reports to President Emilio that I work with, but also the leadership team that I have in student services and the leadership team I have among students, whether it's SGA or RHA or other clubs and organizations. We all have to rely on our teams during challenging times. Challenging times definitely call for team-based solutions. You can't do all of this and respond to a challenging time on your own. So if you and your team can't solve all the problems that are facing you, collaborate. It wasn't just me and my leadership team in student services figuring out how we were going to reopen the residence halls or deliver counseling services or health and wellness. We needed to work with people across the university to figure out what made the most sense. So collaborate and rely on experts, rely on people who know how to respond. I don't know anything about a pandemic. I don't know anything about medications and all of the responses we needed to put in place. I certainly learned about them though, because I did the research and I studied and I learned from those people that know. So please rely on your team. We needed to form a plan, multiple plans, to try to operate this university, not only to finish out the spring semester, but to open up for this fall. And even though plans, there's so much complexity to this plan, one of the most important things that I would say about this process is that the plan has to be holistic and inclusive. We can't just worry about, oh, well, how does this affect resident students? Or how does this affect commuter students? Well, how does this affect undergrads versus grads, students who are already taking online courses versus students who are on campus? What about students who might have food or home insecurity? What about students who don't have access to Wi-Fi and now they're forced to work remotely? What about our staff and faculty or students that have children at home and have to balance their own personal lives with their work and their schoolwork? So no plan is going to be perfect. But if you're not looking at holistically about caring for your community and not trying to exclude anyone from your community in your ability to help, it's not going to be a successful plan. Again, that being said, the plan itself is complex because there's so many moving parts. But ultimately, if the plan and procedures and policies that you share with the community aren't simple and easy to understand, it's not going to be successful. So in order to get to a plan that people understand and that people can support, you need to beat the heck out of your plan. You need to solicit input. You need to get people to challenge and play devil's advocate and say, well, what about this? And what about that? So you need people outside of your circle, outside of your team, to be able to provide you that feedback, to make your plan the most effective that it can be. And again, these are in no particular order, but checking in is so important. How's your team doing? Over these past 7 months, I've been very concerned about how my team is doing with their families, with their personal lives, with their work lives, their workload. So checking in and seeing how they're doing is so important. How is the community? I know that we've given out surveys to students to check in with them last spring. I know we've sent out different ways to communicate with students and staff and faculty since we've reopened to check in and see how they're doing. It's so important to take the temperature, especially in this environment, to see how people are doing and let them know that we're here to support them. And very important, how are you doing? Again, as leaders, we tend to be fixers and we try to take on too much. And sometimes you just need to check in with yourself and say, wow, am I okay? Do I need a break? Can I handle this? Do I need help? If you aren't checking in with yourself and you're letting yourself get burnt out, you're not going to be an effective or helpful leader. So make sure that you're checking in with yourself. I can't stress this enough. If you are a leader who is not transparent and honest, and you lose the trust of your team, of your colleagues, it is so hard to regain that trust. So sometimes it's okay to say, you know what, I don't know. Rather than making something up or just basically lying or bending the truth or not communicating at all, it's so much better to be straightforward and say, you know what, I don't have the answer to that. I'm going to find out, or we can work on this together. But you're going to lose the confidence of your team, and you're going to lose the confidence of your community if you don't communicate transparently and honestly. And look, for goodness sakes, you should always be honest, but we are Mercy leaders at a Mercy institution. Honesty is one of our, it's something we should cling to in how we communicate with each other all the time. This is a big one. Sometimes, again, we as leaders, depending on, our title or whatever, sometimes we assume that, okay, well, I'm a vice president, so I know better than you. Or how you shouldn't talk to me that way. That goes out the door. Whether it's a time of crisis or you're just trying to establish trust and an effective team environment, you have to check yourself. You have to check your ego. So, I'm always learning what it's like to be a better leader. Just because I'm in the role I am in does not mean that I have all the answers and I know what it means to be the best supervisor and manager. So if I make a mistake, I own it. That's a really good way to build trust with your team and your colleagues, to say, you know what, I'm sorry, I screwed up and I'll do better next time. So you should always be soliciting feedback. It's very important when you're meeting with members of your team or your colleagues, you're trying to accomplish a task. How am I doing? Could I have handled that differently? What do you think about my leadership style? Does that work for you? Solicit that feedback and it will help you grow as a leader. Follow-up is so important, especially during this process. This was uncharted territory for all of us. So God forbid if this happens again, we need to document everything that we did so that now we have a pandemic playbook. And God forbid if this happens again with a different type of virus or something, we have a means by which to respond. We were sort of building the car as we were driving it this past 7 months, and we've learned a lot. So you need to document to be able to refer back to how you did and what you did. So along the same lines, we need to think about, okay, we implemented a plan. Did it work? How do we know that it worked? Was it successful? Is there something we could have done differently or should do differently? Did we miss anything in this plan? It's always good to have a follow-up to say, okay, well, this is how we need to change course next time, if there is a next time. And finally, I would encourage you, just like checking in with yourself, you have to celebrate the accomplishments. If anything, this past 7-month experience has really forced me, especially being quarantined with my family, to really appreciate having that time with them. But also to give credit where credit is due. Recognize how hard your team is working and thank them. Let them know how much you appreciate all that they do as consistently as you can. And take that time to be with your friends and loved ones. You need that to recharge. You need that to re-energize. And sometimes you just have to say, you know what, I'm done with work. I'm done with this. I need to separate. I need to watch Netflix. I need to read a book. I need to turn off the news. I need to just turn off my phone. Take time to be with yourself and those people that matter to you. So those are, I think, the 9 or 10 points I wanted to share with you about leadership in challenging times. And I will leave you with 3 quotes that I think are germane to this presentation. The first is, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. And my goodness, we've been dancing in the rain for 7 months. And could be dancing in the snow soon. Challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. So again, this is about, all of these quotes are about, we have the opportunity to choose our attitude and choose how we respond to challenging times. And last but not least, my favorite, because it's from Dr. Seuss, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. hard to do. I'm not necessarily going to smile because COVID-19 happened, but I'm going to smile because we came together as a community and we are the better for it. And we will get through this, and you will get through it as student leaders, and you will go out and make us proud. So thank you for your attention, and thank you for having me at this event. And I'm so happy for all of you to experience this program. And I'll turn it back over to Roz. Thanks all.
Thank you so much, Josh. On a normal setting, we would clap, so I'll just clap for you. Because everybody's muted. At this time, I want to take the time for each mentors and mentees to introduce themselves. We are not in person, and so I'm gonna switch the screen to almost like speaker screen view. So if you switch your, I don't know, if you switch it to speaker view, then you'll be able to see who's actually speaking. And so this is the time to do introductions. And the way we'll do the introduction is it'll be like a mentee, external mentor, and an internal mentor, so we can put faces together. That's the best way that I thought that it would work, because there's so many people in the screen. But if I call on to you all based on your mentee and mentor, that it would work. But first, I wanted to give a brief overview of the G. Mercy U. Griffin Student Leadership Institute, which is also known as GSLI. GSLI is committed to the development of graduates who will be effective leaders, who are passionate towards those in need, and who are compelled to act within the spirit of social responsibility. The Institute is celebrating its 9th years of success, of successful leadership education and traditions, with more than 175 students completing one or more tiers of the program. The Exceptional Leaders Program, which is what we are here now, is intended to bring one's university leadership experience into context of one's career and the needs of society. Exceptional leaders explore issues connected to both service and social responsibility as they meet with a professional leader in their chosen fields. As always, our exceptional leaders are matched with external mentors in their chosen fields. Students are also matched with internal mentors who are members of the Gwinnett Mercy University faculty and staff. Each student are required to meet with both mentors to share conversation about leadership as it relates to one profession and personal life. We will go in greater details concerning the mentors and the mentee relationship later in the agenda, but I wanted to make sure that we just give you a brief overview, but all this information you could also find in your electronic files. And so without further ado, we'll start. Josh already mentioned there's 11 leaders, and that means there's 22 mentors. Not everyone is here, and not everyone on this meeting are mentors, because some of them are presenters and some of them are the staff of student activities and leadership programs. And so I wanted to make sure that we all get a chance to introduce. Like I say, if you switch your screen to speaker view, you'll only be able to see who's speaking, and everyone should kind of mute themselves. And we will start with Ashley Garcia. And so what I would like for the mentees to basically do, introduce themselves by saying their names, their majors, and their career goal and aspiration, and anything else you would like to say, but these 3 things. And for the mentors, if you could just introduce yourself by saying your name, your title, and where you may work. So I could call into people's name based on your mentee, your external mentor, and your internal mentor. So go, Ashley.
Okay, hi everybody, my name is Ashley Garcia. I am a philosophy major with a psych minor. I am interested in becoming an immigration lawyer, and I'm an RA on campus.
Okay. External mentor. Jonathan.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jonathan Grode, excuse me. I am the managing partner of Green and Spiegel. We're an immigration firm with our U.S. headquarters in Philadelphia. And I'm also an adjunct professor of law at Temple University, where I teach immigration law. So I feel you on the academic and the professional side. And I'm a first-time mentor. So I'm excited to be part of the crew. And I will leave you with the fact that because I have full-on COVID hair, I am now able to go as Professor Snape for Halloween. So, I mean, you know, we're embodying this whole thing. But joking aside, I hope that we can duplicate the mission and purpose of your organization through the remote setting. And thanks for having me.
Thank you. Janice Nuss.
Hi, everyone. You gotta love the COVID hair. I am the Director of Field Education for the Bachelor of Social Work program, and I'm really excited to work with Ashley and Jonathan as Ashley's internal mentee. And I have to say, this is my 6th mentee, but I started as an external mentor before I came to Gwen and Mercy full-time 3 years ago. So I've seen both sides of it, and it's just a wonderful program. I think you're all gonna love it.
Thank you. Jessica Miller.
Hi, my name is Jessica Miller. I'm a senior nursing major. My aspirations are to work in critical care on an ICU floor and eventually go to get my master's degree for nurse practitioning so I can eventually start to become more involved both on organizational levels and political levels to fully push kind of nursing advocacy. And I'm really excited to be here.
Thanks, Jess. And I believe your external mentor is not here unless she clicked in. Patrice? No. So Patrice Borgman is your external mentor. And she's in the contact information, and she is a nursing manager of Cardiac Cath Lab. I'm going to mess up the whole title, Interventional Lab and Endoscopy Suite. Kelly Z.
Right here, I was going to just jump in.
Go ahead, introduce Patrice.
So I have actually the privilege to work with Patrice. She actually manages all of the cardiac cath labs and EP labs for the mainline health system. She previously was a director for a health system, and despite having this leadership management role, she has continued to be a critical care staff nurse and does that at Doylestown Hospital. I have worked with her for the last 3 or 4 years, and when Roz had asked me for a suggestion for external mentors, she definitely came to the forefront, and I think that you will be in great hands with Patrice to help you in this great, exceptional program.
Thank you so much. You did Patrice for justice. So Betsy Plummer Stone, I believe I saw her here. Stone Plummer.
Hello, how are you? Betsy Stone Plummer, Assistant Director of Campus Ministry for Community Service, and I oversee outreach, service programs and projects we have for students, faculty, and staff, and also Catherine's Cupboard and the other support that we can offer through our cupboard. So I'm excited. Jessica and I just met this week by coincidence, so I thought that was really exciting when I saw that we were matched up. So, yay!
So Diana Brunelli.
Bronley. Yeah, my name is Diana Bronley. I'm a senior occupational science and occupational therapy major, and I want to be an occupational therapist one day in either pediatrics or geriatrics.
Thank you. And Diana, unfortunately, both of your mentors could not make it tonight. It's Sarah Fried and Dr. Deborah Shadler. Sarah Fried is an occupational therapist. And then Dr. Shadler is the Assistant Dean of Education, but we will make sure that you get a chance to have a Zoom screen with them. But both of them could not make it tonight. But you will, when we break out, you'll be with me and I'll tell you all about the stuff.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Roz.
Our next person is Mary Claire.
Okay, hello, my name is Mary Claire Kastenhuber. I am currently a junior within the nursing program. As far as career aspirations, I really have an interest in public health and policy, as well as philosophy. So I'd really like to find some sort of interdisciplinary approach to kind of meld all of those professions together.
Thank you. Her external mentor as well could not be here, and her name is Mary Bavino. Her daughter is actually getting married, so she is at a rehearsal dinner, but she's a clinical research development manager and also an RN, and I think you will love her. However, your internal mentor, Kelly Statmore, is here, right?
Hello, Mary Claire. I'm Kelly Statmore, and I'm part of the marketing and enrollment management team here at Gwynedd Mercy University High Trinity. And I've been here for about 5 years. So I've presented a number of times for GSLI, but I've never been a mentor, and I'm super excited. I can't confess to knowing a whole lot about being a nurse, except I've had some wonderful nurses in my time, but I'm excited about your interest in public health and philosophy. So looking forward to working with you.
Thank you, Kelly. Jordy.
Hello, my name is Jordan Abelson. I go by Jordy. I am a senior biology major. I have minors in microbiology, chemistry, and also communications. When it comes to post-Gwynedd life, I would really love to be involved in some sort of women's health, public policy, or advocacy work, because that's truly where my passion lies. So thank you so much for including me.
Thank you. And Cassie.
Can you see me? Okay. Hey, my name is Cassie Romano. This is my second time participating in this program. I am a Gwynedd alum. I got my associates and bachelor's in nursing at Gwynedd. I'm currently working as a women's health nurse practitioner for the Visiting Nurse Association. I am providing postpartum home visits specifically for Medicaid patients and underserved populations, which is funny. When I got this job, we had no idea that COVID was going to happen, and this has now been a huge asset for these patients because a lot of them are uncomfortable going out of the home, so I can come to them. I'm also able to provide a lot of education to them on a lot of postpartum mortality risks that happen, and we provide a slew of resources for them, financial resources, education, support, going over postpartum depression. So it's really great to be able to make a huge impact, especially with everything going on with the pandemic right now.
Thank you, Cassie. Pam.
Well, hello, I'm Pam Lynn. I am faculty in the School of Nursing, and Cassie was actually a student of mine at one point. So yeah,
I didn't know.
yeah. Isn't the world so very small? And Cassie, you forgot to mention all your wonderful leadership activities while you're on campus and post-campus. She's been very instrumental in our professional organizations, not at the moment, but so I feel like I might be the loose wheel in this triad because I'm not in women's health. My background's oncology, and I currently am not holding really any leadership positions either. So you might have gotten the bum rap, Jordy, but I am excited to be working with you, and I think it's yet another way, you know, we really allow students to shine. So I'm excited to be part of it. Good to meet you.
Thank you. And don't forget your internal mentors actually do not have to be in the field that you go into. So you're good, Pam.
No, I know that.
Joking.
I might have something to offer.
Victoria.
Hello, I'm Victoria. I'm a senior nursing student. My hope is to be in the NICU as a NICU nurse. eventually be a nurse practitioner. The reason I want to do the NICU is I'm a quadruplet, and all of my siblings were in the NICU for, prematurity. And a fun fact, Diana is one of my twins who already went, Diana Brownlee. And a fun fact about me is I play soccer and lacrosse for Gwynedd. Sadly, due to COVID, we had to pick one sport, so I chose lacrosse. And 2 days ago, I was assigned captain, which is really cool and it's a nice honor. I'm super excited to be involved in this great program. I did emerging leaders and evolving leaders within the past years at Gwynedd, and I've learned so much, and I'm super excited for this program. Thank you.
Yay, thank you. Jennifer?
Hi, I'm Jennifer, or Jenny. You can call me Jenny. I actually had Victoria as a student because I teach as an adjunct faculty member for the undergrad nursing stuff. So I am currently a registered nurse at CHOP. I work in the cardiac and NICU step-down unit, so I think Victoria and I are going to be a great match. My background is in cardiac, and I'm also, fun fact, I am a Gwynedd Mercy alumni as well as a current Gwynedd Mercy student in my master's for nursing education. So I'm really excited to be a part of this, and I think it's going to be a great experience.
Wow. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Jeff?
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I actually, before I get to my stuff, I just want to say really great job to Jessica Miller reading that prayer. I came on right when she started reading it, and it was really excellent. So great job, Jessica. Victoria and everyone, hello. My name is Jeff Wallace. I'm the director of campus ministry. It's my second year here at Gwynedd. I am not a nurse, clearly, but I do have a child. His name is Daniel. He's in the screen, if you're seeing my screen. He's trying to sleep, and he's new. He's 16 months this past Saturday. So there's that. But I'm just excited. I was a mentor last year for one of the only students who I had known at that point, Juliana, and she was great. And this is the type of stuff that I really enjoy doing, really working with students and helping them figure out meaning, purpose, and how all of that comes together. And I think this particular program really does a great job of doing that. I'm excited to be working. I've never worked, or I guess known a quadruplet before. So this is going to be really cool just to hear about that experience. And I'm just looking forward to it. So excited to be part of your team, Victoria. And yeah, thanks everyone.
Thanks, Jeff. Renad?
Hi everyone, my name is Renad Bahabri. I'm a senior respiratory therapy major and I'm doing a minor in psychology. I aspire to be a respiratory therapist, hopefully get my master's, do research, and hopefully teach one day in the same field. And I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Your external mentor is Chelsea Gadecki. She is unfortunately was on nurse duty, and so on duty, so she couldn't be here, but she is a respiratory therapist, and she is actually the only person I think in this group that has been through our exceptional leaders, like the second cohort, and she is an alumni of the program of the respiratory care, and so she is highly recommended by Dr. Bill Gavin. Okay, so you'll get to meet her, but she's not here today. Wade. Wade is still here.
Yep, I am here.
Yes.
So hi everyone, I'm Wade Luquette, and I'm professor of social work in the BSW program and the director of the social work program. Renat, I think we have met with your sister, was it at Best Buddies or something like that? So I'm looking forward to working with you. I enjoyed having that conversation.
Thank you, and Wade is a first-time mentor. Caitlin.
Hi everyone, I'm Caitlin Stevens. I'm a junior early childhood and special education major here at Gwynedd. My career goal is to be a teacher, and even more than that, to be an advocate for our students in the special education population.
Thank you. Sister Kathy?
Okay, hi. I'm not sure if you can see me there, but I'm Sister Kathy Schulberg. I'm a Sister of Mercy, and this is my 54th year as a Sister of Mercy, and all of that time has been spent in elementary education. Presently, I am what am I? I'm a supervisor for student teachers right now from Gwynedd Mercy University. I love doing it. Last year I was part of this program and I found it really, really magnificent. It was just such a great opportunity to be with someone who's aspiring to be an educator and to also go into administration. In my time, I had taught first grade for 15 years. And I was a principal for 35 before I moved into being a supervisor. So it's been great. And I really, really look forward to working with you. And there's so much you can do to help lives of children. And it just is a magnificent profession. And I'm really glad I'll be able to work with you and we can share ideas.
Thank you, Sister Kathy. Sharon?
Hi, everyone. I had to go with the headset because I have a choir of barking dogs downstairs. I'm Sharon Montgomery. I am an assistant professor of occupational science and occupational therapy. This is my 3rd year in the program. The first year I was an external mentor. Last year I was an internal mentor. So I'm glad to be back. I was an occupational therapist out in the hospital setting, running a department for over 30 years before I came to Gwynedd Mercy to teach you everything I know and then some. So I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you. Jordan?
Hi, I'm Jordan. I'm a junior in the Occupational Science and Therapy program here at Gwynedd, and I'll also be getting a minor in psychology. I play field hockey here, and I also work in the integrated studies program. So.
Thank you. Katie Peck is your external mentor. She could not be here today. She is an occupational therapist. I actually have a long list of her resume if you want to see it. But she could not be here today, but we will also make sure we schedule a time.
Thank you.
Okay. Marion? Is she still here? Marion?
Yeah.
I think she is. Oh, yes.
Hello. My name is Mary Ann Boyd, and I'm an instructor in the School of Business and Education. This is my 2nd year full-time, and I am also a graduate of Gwynedd Mercy many, many years ago. And I spent my entire career in various forms of education, including principalship, which I hope will help us in the leadership kinds of conversations that we will have. If I were to say, what do I do best? I think teaching and learning, and I still do both, and I still love both. So I am really, really honored to be part of this program. I'm a first-time mentor, and just very happy to meet you, Jordan.
Thank you. I'm really excited to work with you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Lauren?
My name is Lauren. I'm a junior. I'm a double major of accounting and finance. I aspire to become a lawyer for small businesses and other eventually large corporations. I'm active in Best Buddies and field hockey.
Thank you, Lauren. Bob?
My name is Bob Alston. I've been a lawyer longer than most of you have been alive, actually by some multiple probably. I'm a business lawyer by occupation and have been almost forever. Lauren, I want you to know this is my third time doing this. You are the first student who, before you even heard my speech, have followed my advice. People that want to go into business law, I've always suggested, for God's sakes, get an undergraduate degree in accounting so you speak the language. I'm a tax lawyer by training, and I've never had a formal accounting course, and that is definitely not the way to do that. So again, happy to participate. And in terms of leadership, I mean, we've got your external mentor is the boss here. So I think you're going to be well served there too.
Thank you, Bob. Mary? Yes, just like.
So I have to say, welcome everybody. I'm Mary Van Brun. I'm the Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs here. And since I was in meetings all day and driving to get home in time for this, I didn't know who my mentee was. So I've been listening to everyone writing notes and saying, oh, that could be me because of this. But as soon as I heard accounting finance, I said, I think this is me. So, so Lauren, I'm very excited to be working with you. I will say I've only been at Gwynedd, this is my third year, and I was so excited about this program. I told Roz right from the beginning, you know, I want to be a mentor, and she never picked me until this year. So I'm very excited. So it's my first time. But I actually, before I got into higher ed, I spent a decade in the finance and the accounting world. So I was a banker and also an accountant for a pharmaceutical company as well. So hopefully, you know, between Bob and I, we'll give you some good mentoring, and I'm so excited to work with you. So thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Danielle.
Hi, everyone. My name is Danielle Brown. I'm a senior bio major with minors in chemistry, psychology, and microbiology. And my career aspirations are to practice medicine and pediatrics. Basically, the hope of being able to open my own practice one day. And just academics, I'm pretty involved on campus in a bunch of clubs like SAC and SGA and SAS. So I'm kind of all over the place.
Well, thanks, Danielle. All right, she's treasure. Kelly. I knew that. I'm not sure why I looked in the paper. Kelly, you there?
I'm right here.
Oh, there you go.
So my name is Kelly Ann Cizichny. I have spent 25 years as a pediatric nurse, as well as the last 10 years also working in the area of vascular access, which impacts every patient care area. I'm the proud mother of a junior nursing student, Annalise Cizichny, who shout out to Jeff. She's excited to do Zoom tea time, and she completely misses doing campus ministry actively and is really struggling with just being online and not being at Gwynedd and being involved with all of her activities. And just real quick, I know I'm supposed to be really short, but Caitlin Stevens, hi Caitlin Stevens. So just let me tell you, she is a rock star. She was a Y counselor with Annalise, as well as my oldest daughter, Aubrey Lynn. And so you have a gem there, whoever is mentoring her. And lastly, I just want to say to the quadruplet NICU nurse who has a nurse that's a CHOP nurse, I actually worked years ago on that step down unit at CHOP, so you are in great hands. And hi, Mary. I'm just saying hi to everybody.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm super excited, and this is my third year.
Yes, thank you. Mary Jo?
Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Jo Pirantosi. I am a faculty member in education in the School of Business and Education, and have been involved in GSLI right from the very beginning. And I have to say that I love this Exceptional Leaders Program. I've gotten to know so many young folks who have gone on to do great things and just, you know, make us proud as Gwynedd Mercy University. Danielle, I am looking forward to working with you. I already know you as a leader because I was in attendance at your budget meeting, and I gotta say, I could never have done that better. You did an excellent job with that. I sang your praises to Roz as well. And so I'm looking forward to working with both you and Kelly because you are the medical professionals. And when I was in high school, I barely made it through science. So I'm excited about learning with you and from both of you as well. So thanks.
Thank you, Mary Jo. And so there are 4 more individuals on the call. So we'll just do an introduction. One of them is Charmaine, but you'll get a chance to meet in a few, as she is one of our speakers. And then the other 3 are my staff. I'll allow them to introduce themselves. We'll start with Allie, because I'll give a little news. I'm going on maternity leave next month. And so therefore, if you did have questions, it would be this person that you will reach out to. And so I want to make sure that you actually have a name to a face. And then Alicia and Danielle can go.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I was telling my dog to get out because he loves to be on Zoom calls too. My name is Allie Jabara Johnston. I'm the Associate Director for Leadership Programs at Gwynedd. And I mainly support the other 2 tiers of GSLI. But while Roz is out, I will be happy to be supporting you all as well. I have been working with GSLI for several years, and you know, it's just always such a joy to, you know, witness what kind of leadership students gain out of exceptional leaders. It really is a really great program. So I'm very excited for you all. And I'm sure Roz will pass along my information, but I know most of you anyway. So really with anything, feel free to reach out to me, you know, for the rest of the year.
Thank you, Allie. Danielle, Alicia?
Hi, I'm Alicia Scott. I'm the coordinator at Student Activities and Leadership Programs. And it's so nice to see, I see all the students' names on all the papers, and it's so great to see all the faces and the names and to meet everybody.
Thank you, Alicia. Danielle?
Hello, everyone. My name is Danielle Davis. I am the Assistant Director of New Student Orientation and Student Activities. I am here just to support, or if you ever need to stop by the office. I'm one person who is in the office sometimes during the week, but I'm just here to support as much as possible. So I was super happy to meet all of you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. As you can tell, there are some great talents, some great leaders, some great mentors, and so I'm super excited. This was the longest part of our program, but I feel like it was needed so we can actually see the 3 faces. So thank you so much. And so at this time, we want to make sure that you understand the foundation of the program. And so Mary Jo will be the one to discuss with us what is the social change model of leadership, which is what GSLI is based off, and then what your experience will be based off of.
Thank you, Roz.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen. I'm good.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Sorry, I had to move some things around to find the screen here. All right, so everybody, we're so excited that you're with us, and I will be brief because there's more about this as you move through your binders. So I want to mention that you know, Roz says we've had this program in action for 9 years, but we really started the planning about 10 years ago. You know, when you think about it, and we looked at various models for leadership. And there are lots of great models out there, don't get me wrong. But we looked at social change and we looked at our mission and we said, wow, this is really what will work here at Gwynedd Mercy University. And so we settled upon this social change model. We call it the 7 C's, and you'll see why. And I'll briefly go through each of the C's so that you understand it. So you're going to see some slides in here that would tend to be interactive, and obviously we're not going to do that. But I want you to take a look at the goals. I'm not one to read from slides, so I want you to take a look at the goals since you all have the slides in front of you. And so this is really the goal. These are the 3 main goals of the program. And so when we think about it, you know, our ultimate goal is change. We actually call the 8th C change, that after we've, you know, committed to this particular program, we can see change happen, you know, in our own little lives and in the world around us. And so that's important, especially today. We need great leaders, and you are the leaders of tomorrow. And so we are so excited that you're a part of this program, and we want to make sure that you have the background for that. So rather than, you know, obviously talking, I just want you in your head right now to think about what leadership means to you. I'm not going to ask questions or, you know, put on my teacher hat, but what does leadership mean to you? What defines leadership for you? And think about why you joined this program. Roz and Allie and I had an opportunity to read your applications, and oh my goodness, you know, what exceptional folks you are joining this exceptional program. So, you know, you're pretty clear on why you want to be a leader, but what is it? Generally speaking, what is leadership? And then I also want you to think about what are some of the qualities of an exceptional leader. There are a lot of people who call themselves leaders, but not every leader is exceptional. So what makes for an exceptional leader? I want you to tuck that in the back of your head. And don't be humble about this. I want you to think about what are the qualities you possess that make you an exceptional leader. You know, we tend to be humble about the good qualities that we possess. But I want you to think about, why would you be classified as an exceptional leader in your own mind? In your own mind, what would that mean? So as you're going through the program, I want you to think about the qualities you possess. I want you to think about what are the qualities that need further development. And those are the kinds of things and conversations you'll have with both your internal and your external mentors. Because, you know, no one's perfect. So there are areas that need further development. We have some strengths, and then we have areas that need development as well. And it's interesting, the word collaboration has already come up at least once tonight. Josh made reference to collaboration in his talk. And collaboration, you'll hear that over and over in this particular area. And so think about what collaboration has to do with the group piece. So this is a visual, and you'll have a copy of this in your materials, but this is a visual of the social change model of leadership. Notice that everything points in each other's direction. So we talk about the individual, we talk about the group, and then we talk about society. I can't be a leader out in society unless I know who I am as a leader, and unless I've developed my personal qualities. And I can't be a leader out in society unless I've had an opportunity to work with groups and to interact with groups. And that's an important piece, because then that can lead to leadership in society. And so these are the 7 C's. Again, I'm not going to read them to you, but you can see them in front of you, and I will talk briefly about each of those as well. And the readings that you have in your binder that I know Roz has sent to everyone focuses on these particular pieces. So when we talk about consciousness of self, we want an awareness of who we are. What's my motivation to be a leader? Who am I as a leader? I apologize that my phone just rang and there's a message coming over my machine. I apologize for that. We have to know who we are. We need to be aware of the beliefs and the values and attitudes that we have and the emotions that motivate us. What drives us? And so we need to develop that consciousness of self, and that really is very important. The other one is congruence, and I know that sounds like a math word to people, but it's thinking and feeling and behaving with some consistency, to be genuine, to be authentic, to be honest, And that's a really important piece about leadership, to be honest with each other. And it is interdependent, obviously, with the consciousness of self. You know, and so we have some tests. We have some personal tests and some collective tests in terms of congruency and what are our most deeply held beliefs, and then how do we express those as a leader as well. It goes without saying that to be a good leader, you need to have commitment, motivation, and drive. People who have had me in class know two of my favorite words are motivation and passion. You know, without motivation and passion, you know, life is just life. And we need to bring motivation and passion to everything that we do. You are all entering such wonderful fields that will focus on humanity and on people in general. And all of you have that motivation and passion already to do that. So as leaders, you're going to bring that to whatever you do. And of course, it goes back to that knowledge of self again. You'll see how these are all connected with each other. Josh talked about collaboration. You can't be a leader without a group. And so that's really an important thing. And so it takes common effort. And collaboration is really the cornerstone value of any leadership. And that's an important piece. And so what a leader does is help transcend individual goals, interests, and behaviors to bring the group together and to explore the differences in the group and to play on those differences, celebrate those differences, use those differences when you are leading that group. Common purpose, it's really connected. How can a group be successful without a common purpose? We have to have shared values. We have to have shared aims, shared vision. This is best achieved when everybody is sharing the vision and everybody actively participates and can articulate the purpose and the goals of every activity, no matter what it is, within your clubs, within your organizations. What are the purposes and goals of what you're doing? What are the purposes and goals of every activity? And then to analyze that and to see later on, to go back and reflect on it as well. And so that common purpose is a critical piece. Here's something we all need to learn. Controversy with civility. We are not all going to agree with everybody all of the time. You know, we often talk about the expression, we're going to agree to disagree. And I feel like that's an important piece. As a leader, you have to have open and honest dialogue with the people with whom you work. Trust is a huge piece. And I think that Josh alluded to that as well when he was talking about, you know, leading through all of this that we're doing, you know. We as a university and Josh's team were, you know, we're treading on new ground, and people needed to trust each other and trust that everything was being developed in the best interests of our university. And so you need to do that same thing. People aren't going to agree. That's the beauty of a group. You know, if everybody agrees all the time, then there's really no conversation. There's really no growth in that, but it's how we do that. And so we have to resolve our conflicts in an amicable manner. We have to resolve them in a way that everyone walks away a little bit satisfied. And so that really is a key piece. Always listening to everybody, listening to their point of view, listening to what they have to say, and then respectfully have a conversation about those disagreements, and then be honest and forthright with each other. The last one is citizenship, and oh boy, we're talking a whole lot about this right now. And this is being leaders and being actively engaged in your community. In this moment in time, it means getting out and voting, you know, being engaged in society and in your community that way, no matter what. You know, I always say to my students, doesn't matter for whom you vote, it matters that you vote. It matters that you take that civic responsibility. And so we become responsibly connected to a community and through society, into society through developing our leadership skills. To be a good citizen is to work for positive change. And that really is a key element here. And every level of this particular leadership program is about bringing us to be good citizens in our communities, within our groups, out in society. And who knows, someday, you know, in the nation, we've got a couple of lawyers in the group. So who knows what will come. And I know I did a little bit fast forward, but I want you to think about this as you're going through the program. How will this model help you to be an exceptional leader? You know, what are the kinds of things that you can share with others, you know, as you move to your future? How will you be able to share some of this information with other people? How will you be able to share this with members of your group? You are all active in some group. You all mentioned that. You're on teams, you're in clubs, you're presidents, your co-presidents, your captains, etc. How are you going to share this information in terms of your interaction with those people as well? And that's a really important piece. So I know I went very quickly through this. I do have a tendency to talk fast anyway, but thank you for your attention. Good luck with the journey, because it really is a great journey on which you are embarking tonight. And so thank you for being here, and thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Mary Jo. And like she mentioned, she may have gone through it a little fast, but the presentation is in your files and have more details in there. And so you could definitely look into it, but also if you have any questions, to reach out to us. And so I'm ending up sharing my screen, because to follow with this is to basically explain what I emailed to everyone today and how do you access your information. You should have received an email. I think if I click out of this, stop sharing. You should have received an email that looks like this today. And can everyone see my screen? Yes? No? Nope. Okay. Oh, now you can. So everyone should have received an email that looked like this, and we were trying to make it as simple as possible so you all didn't have to go keep searching through things. So you should have received an email like this, and in the email it says start here, and start here is about to be the outlines we're going to go through, but it's the outline of everything that is inside of this Exceptional Leaders Program file. And if you start here and you click on it, you should have access to it. Everyone should have viewing access. If you do not, please let me know. When you start here, you should be able to have your mentees and your mentors roster right in there. The mentors guidelines is here. And so for both internal and external mentors is in here. If you have any questions, I'm not going to read it to everyone, but if you clicked on it, you will be able to find it. As I mentioned in the emails that have been sent to you all before, for the mentors specifically, is that all we would like is require that you at least, each mentor, internal and external mentor, at least schedule 3 separate meetings to meet with the mentees. Now, if you feel like having 20 of them via Zoom, that is up to you, but we have divided the electronic files by the social change model: individual values, group values, and society/commuter values. And so as 3 meetings, as things to talk about. And so keep in mind that a mentorship is what you put in it and what you want to get from it. We'll hear a little bit, actually, I'll just leave that. We'll hear a little bit about that from Charmaine in a few minutes, but just to know that the guidelines is there. Feel free to read it, especially if you're a first-time mentor. I encourage you to look into it, but the requirements is that at minimum you can have 3 meetings, but you can have as many as you want. And even after the program ended, if you want to continue your relationship, feel free to, but it's all up to you. We also included journal questions that are in there, and the journaling questions, they are basically questions to kind of help the mentees and the mentors relationship. And they also reflection opportunities for the students, as the students have to actually write a paper. And so it gives you context and context for you to basically have this conversation. This first meeting, we are putting strangers together. And so it's almost like a startup. So if you clicked in here, you'll find reflection questions. Meeting one, like I said, we scheduled each one of them. I mean, the way we arranged them is that each meetings you'll be exploring these. So the individual values, this is where we'll get to know one another, what we're all about, but so you'll address some of these social change model. If I click out of there, you won't be able to see my screen anymore. But when you click in here, there are several readings that you could do. You do not have to read all of them. You could pick one. Just keep in mind that all of these are guidelines. And if you click here.
Roz, excuse me, it's Pam. Do you realize that you're still on the email screen?
Oh, nope, I did not. So thank you.
Okay. Yeah, it happens to me all the time. That's why I'm saying I constantly asking students, did my screen change? Did my screen change? Because it doesn't always.
Okay. Now, this is what I was talking about. It may make more sense.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So, this is what I was talking about. If you start here, your rosters here, your guidelines here, your journal reflections here, all these blues are links, but they are links to that same folder. Meeting one, if you click individual values, it'll take you to all the readings. There's some of them, they are short readings. They could be like a TED Talk, they could be a poem. It could just be online resources. So it's not like you in class. They're all things of enjoyment. They are short readings, short videos. And so once again, it's not to think of this as class as opposed to here's what we're giving you to build that relationship. And so all of our readings are kind of will give you opportunities to reflect on these core values. And you can see meeting one, meeting two, meeting three. And then I have instructions inside of these folders about what the meetings are and the prompts. The mentees, part of the program for the exceptional leaders is that we get to publish a journal at the end of the year. And so there's articles inside of that journal from each exceptional leaders. And so there's a paper guidelines in there. And all the exceptional leaders are aware of this because this is part of applying. And so to complete the program, they have to write a integration paper. And the integration paper is basically about their leadership experience through this time between October till April. And so students, once you read this, if you have any questions, let me know. I have included last year, I got a comment that said that I needed to include a sample paper. So this year I have included a sample paper because it would be helpful for the mentors to see, as well as the mentees to see. I think that one's a great paper. By no means that it's like the perfect one and yours has to match it. And also please use it as a sample paper because that's one of the ones that is in the library and on our website. But it's one of the great papers and it kind of touched base on some of the key things that we would like to see. There are a list of guidelines of things we want to see on it, and the paper is about like 6 pages for each student. We do encourage mentors to talk to the students about that. There's especially the internal mentors, talk to them about their papers. You could be a good guide. The part of the internal mentors is that typically the internal mentors are after the external mentors meeting, because then the internal mentors help the student reflect and process on some of the information that had occurred. And so that would be a great opportunity to do it. This seems like I am going really fast, but I know it's a Zoom call. Like I said, all of this stuff is kind of here in a way that hopefully would make sense when you go through it. The dates to remember, so specifically for the students, we do a check-in in January just to see how things are going. to see if you need our help. Are you meeting with your mentor? Things like that. We also do a check-in via email with the mentors just to check in to see if there's anything that we could help with. The program is very hands-off to us. It's just more if you have questions, reach out to us and give you all the information for you to flourish and build the partnership that you would like to build. So the students, there's some dates for you to remember that they are on there starting February 19th. By then, we want you to really start talking about your ideas about what the paper would look like. By March 15th, make sure it's a paper that needs to be published. Make sure that you check it, write a draft, go to the ARC, get help. And some of your internal mentors may be really, really good at editing papers. Let them see it. Why not? So I would say look into that. By March 24th, please submit your paper to me. We are still unsure if we will have a conference. So the GSLI program also has a conference, and we're not sure if we'll be able to have a conference, but it's usually mid-April, and all the leaders are required to attend, and all the mentors is optional if you want to come. But since we are not sure if we'll be able to have it, right now, just keep in mind that maybe we'll have it. That was a lot, but I promise it's all in that file that I send you. And you should be able to locate it. Like I said, if you have any questions, please do let me know. Is the sharing of the screen. And when you click on the file, when you click on the Exceptional Leader electronic binder, this is what I mean by like you'll be able to see everything, all the different files, the sample papers, and the questions. Everyone can see that, right? Like that shared file?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. That is all I actually wanted to talk about in terms of the essence of the paper. So right now, Charmaine, I think Charmaine's still here. Without further ado, I would like to bring, now we'll hear from Charmaine Marjorie Smith about the value and impact of mentorship. And then after that, I will split you all into a breakout room so you'll have an opportunity to meet your mentee and possibly schedule your next meeting.
Thank
you. Charmaine, you there?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
There you go.
So this has been quite an informative evening. I'm very honored to be able to speak with you this evening. Based on what we've heard so far, this is a very organized program, and I feel like this evening has been extremely productive. Let me give you a little of my background. I am the Director of Employee Engagement Training at Liberty Lutheran Services. And in my role, I have the opportunity to support approximately 1,300 employees of all levels. I provide training in core disciplines that support our Liberty culture, and often that actually refines the individuals as a whole. My responsibilities also include developing course content and ad hoc trainings to address current events. For instance, during the summer, I prepared a presentation titled "Old Ways Won't Open New Doors" to guide discussions about social inequities. The training was in direct response to the civil unrest generated as the result of the tragic death of George Floyd. What I have learned is that all people have a need to be heard, and being a part of a mentorship program such as Exceptional Leaders is an open opportunity for both mentors and mentees to be heard. Since Gwinnett Mercy University values integrity in word and deed, respect for the dignity of each person, service to society, and social justice in a diverse world, there is an excess of untapped learning to take place in successful mentoring relationships. I'd ask you guys to use the raise your hand feature on Zoom here. If any of you know what Howard Thurman, Father Michael Vander Peet, and Srimad Rajchandra all have in common. Do we see any raised hands? You may see it, Roz, and I may not. I'm not sure.
No, I don't see.
Okay.
I saw Ashley Garcia's hand up.
Ah, thank you.
All right, good. So here's the thing. For those of us who did not know, each was actually a mentor to someone who became world renowned. For instance, Howard Thurman was the person that mentored Martin Luther King Jr. Father Michael Vander Peet mentored Mother Teresa. And Srimad Rajchandra served as the mentor to Mahatma Gandhi. How were these three mentors to know that they were influencing someone who would have such a significant leadership impact on the world? There is value in mentoring relationships. So there is value in mentoring relationships for both the mentor and the mentee. But I must caution you that any mentoring program is only as robust as the participants. And the Exceptional Leaders Program is no exception. Since this is an independent program, as Roz was describing, and you basically are provided tools, the most successful outcomes are your direct results of time, initiative, and consistency that is put forth during your interactions. So let's kick this thing off with enthusiasm and energy, knowing that nothing is impossible to a willing heart. That's like one of my favorite quotes. So as I previously stated, that there is value in the mentoring relationships for both the mentor and the mentee. And there is a commitment that's required by both. I would like us to examine the values that are in common, or that I call the commonalities that are shared by the mentors and the mentees. And it's interesting because we've heard between Josh and between, I'm sorry, Mary Jo maybe? Okay, good. We've really heard like some similar messaging, as I will continue, about having the opportunity to teach each other. That is a shared commonality that both the mentor and the mentee has. The other is the networking opportunity. You know, we are certainly in a world where we just don't have enough resources. So, you know, the wider your network is, the more opportunities you have, you know, to be able to be resourceful. And the fun thing about having a strong mentoring relationship is that could actually become a lifelong friendship. The other thing is that in a lot of instances with the pairing or the teams, excuse me, that make up the mentoring group, there's a lot of times diversity across the generations. So there's that opportunity to gain firsthand insight, or what I like to call generational cross-pollination. There's also the opportunity to see your value through a new lens. Both the mentor and the mentee get to be valued by someone outside of maybe their immediate circle or people that had known them, you know, all their lives. Lastly, as far as what I call the shared common and values in common, are that as the mentor, you have an opportunity to give, again, an outside perspective or a different perspective, something that they wouldn't hear maybe from a family or a friend. And on the same token as the mentee, you're getting to hear a different voice, you're getting to get that different perspective. Now, in the areas that reflect unique value that's specific to each, such as the mentor, your value is measured because you have an opportunity to pay it forward. All of your lifelong experiences, whether they've been academic, whether they've been work-related, you know, you have this opportunity to pay that forward and share. You also are able to encourage and to influence. And in some cases, it is actually allowing a mentor to still feel relevant and to feel engaged, you know, not to get to that point where, you know, just the mundanities of the day and you kind of have become complacent. Being paired up or associated in a mentorship program allows you to still feel alive and, you know, a contributor to the success of someone else. As a mentee, you have that opportunity to learn without the experience. Trust me when I tell you, everything does not need to be experienced. Sometimes it's just nice to be able to learn from some of the bumps and the bruises that other people tell you about. The other thing for a mentee is it's allowing you to really make that commitment to routinely sharpen your skills. And then there's gaining the awareness that resilience can be learned. There's a misconception that, you know, you're born resilient or you're not. And the reality is it's something that can actually be learned because failure actually is an option because it's a part of the lesson. And so I always like to call attention to a book written by John C. Maxwell called Failing Forward, okay? Because that's a part of the lessons. When we fail, that's our opportunity to hopefully have learned something. And so resilience is critical. We have to know, hey, we didn't get the A that we wanted, but I can still bounce back. I didn't get the job that I wanted, but I can still bounce back. All of this is really important. And when you have strong mentoring relationships, your mentor can help you to see the value and help you to be able to be resilient, to talk you through. And just again, like I said, failure actually is an option because you learn from it. So there's a study that I just want to tell you about that states that we retain, I'm going to read this to you, 10% of what we read. So the study says that we retain 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, 50% of what we see and hear, 70% of what we discuss with others, 80% of what we experience, and 95% of what we teach to someone else. When I relate this information to the impact of the Exceptional Leaders Mentoring Program, I hone in on the 3 highest percentages because I see a correlation to a fully engaged mentoring relationship that can result in participants retaining 70% of what was discussed, 80% of what was experienced, and 95% of what was taught. Those are pretty impressive percentages for newly formed relationships and in working together for a relatively short period of time. Mentoring is not a single focused endeavor. The purpose is to provide mentees with tools that will enrich all aspects of their lives, whether it's school, home, or career related. In addition to helping mentees prepare for work-life balance, it is equally important that there is understanding about work-life integration. Solid skills such as communication, emotional intelligence, being financially responsive, being principled and trustworthy, valuing team engagement, and basic job knowledge and functional skills are all areas to discuss during mentoring. I strongly encourage the mentees to approach the mentoring relationship as the first step in a series of lifelong learning. The biggest challenge in many relationships is the breakdown of communication, and mostly due to poor listening skills. I encourage both the mentors and the mentees to actively listen and without judgment during your interactions. Take the time to actively listen and ask clarifying questions when necessary. Use paraphrasing to confirm your understanding. And as a mentor, promote expression of ideas and encourage candor. Guide and assist the mentee by showing the value of being able to articulate thoughts and feelings tactfully. And basically, Mary Jo spoke to this when she talked about, you know, let's be civilized, let's be civil. We can disagree, but we should be able to express how we're feeling with tact and diplomacy. As I conclude, I'd like to share a few quotes because I'm going to take a page out of Josh's book about 5 tips that I think are important to effective listening during your exceptional leaders mentorship journey. So like I said, they're quotes, so I'm going to tell you who said them. One is Doug Larson. He says that wisdom is the reward you get for a lifetime of listening when you would have preferred to talk. Brian H. McGill says, one of the most sincere forms of respect is actually listening to what another has to say. Then we have Peter Drucker. The most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. Stephen R. Covey. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. And then the last tip by Malcolm Forbes. The art of conversation lies in listening. The value and impact of mentoring and a mentoring relationship can be outstanding. Let's get enthused and energized in preparation to create positive social change. Thank you for your time and attention.
I like it. Positive social change. Thank you, Charmaine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This concludes our formal presentation for the evening. Mentors and mentees, at this time, I'm hoping this will work out. I already put y'all in breakout rooms, and so in the breakout rooms, feel free to exchange numbers, schedule your first meeting. The whole point of putting you all in breakout rooms, because we would have did this in person, was that if you schedule your first meeting, it could kind of help both of you all to be accountable, and also in a way of strengthening your partnership. So if you start by scheduling your first meeting, then you all know that you have to be there, and so no one feels like is annoying the other. And so I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you to all the presenters. Thank you all students. Thank you. All right, thank you so much. And now I'm going to press this button. Hopefully it makes all of you all disappear and you'll go to the rooms you're supposed to go to. And you may leave once you finish with your mentee or your mentor. You may leave from that room, but I will be in here for a little if you have questions. But I won't close the call until everyone has left. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Roz.
All right.
Thank you, Roz.
Thanks so much. It was good to be with everybody.
Thank
Have a nice night.
Yeah, everyone. Thank you.
All right. Here we go. Hopefully people are disappearing. Did it work out? Yes, it is. So hit join. Yay, it's working. Make sure you hit join so you can go.
My
If you not getting a join button, it's because I didn't put you. You didn't have a person. That means everyone worked out, right? Is it only 2, 4, 5? Hi, Danielle.
Hey, I'm just here to make sure you didn't need me still.
No.
Jeff just had trouble. He's back.
Oh, okay. How do I assign? Okay, let's see. Jeff, is it asking you to join someone?
It did, but then I got kicked off. I was in 4. That's the one I saw.
You were in group 4?
Yes.
Victoria? Okay, so let's see if I can. You still there, but it said you didn't join.
Weird. Yeah, I've never been kicked off of Zoom as the first time.
Roz, are you good, or would you like me to stay a little bit longer?
You good.
Okay. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
All
You
right.
too, Danielle.
Bye.
Bye.
How do I? Hold on real quick, Ashley.
Okay, stay.
No, you can go, Danielle.
Oh, okay. Are you sure?
Unless you know how to put him back into a room.
I think potentially, let's see.
1, 2, 3. It's saying to move him, but I can't really move him.
Sorry, y'all. I'm
I
causing
don't have
so
the
much trouble.
ability to,
And I'm supposed to be with Diana's sister.
yeah.
Let's see. Move. Oh, maybe I can do it. Move here to breakout room 4, right? That's where you were?
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna try again. Hopefully I won't get booted this time. All right, thanks. Bye.
All right.
All right. Saying goodbye now so I can finish making dinner.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
All right. All right, so ladies. Bye, Danielle. All right. I am so sorry that your people, actually, Ashley, did you get a chance to, they were supposed to send you like a private message or something?
Yeah, they did. They both did. And I set up a meeting with Jonathan, which I accidentally call him John.
So I don't know if his name is Jonathan or John.
Because it did say John on like the roster, right?
No, it was Jonathan.
Okay, so I messed up.
I may have called him John.
Yeah.
There, because I think like whomever, like the other lawyer, Bob, referred to him as John, but his full name is Jonathan. I don't really know which one he goes by. Did he correct you?
No.
Oh.
I was like, oh my gosh, like, cause we set up a meeting, so we're meeting like next Wednesday at 4, and he like sent me an email, and I was like, oh my God, Jonathan, not John.
Yeah. So his name is full Jonathan. So the fact that you have already like scheduled your meeting with them, you are good to go. I mean, that's it. I would say look over the file, the electronic files. And if you have any questions, please feel free to like email me, unless you have any questions now. But since you got a chance to see both of yours, which would be good.
Yeah. Well, I'm good. I don't have any more questions. But thank you.
Thank you. All right.
You guys have a good night.
Okay. So Diana.
Hi, Dr. Roz.
Yo, so I know, like, or maybe I heard a rumor that I thought that y'all were twins. And then I was like, well, I don't know if they really, but it never like came across to ask, but y'all quadruplets?
Yeah, quadruplets. So I have another sister named Lindsay, and she's at Kutztown for education. Then I have my brother Kevin. He's at Temple for finance.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And then also, like, I think it's because you transferred in is why I also thought that you were probably not graduating this year.
Yeah, I did transfer, and I think that like confuses a lot of people. Plus, like, I noticed like in my email, like I have my signature and it says my master's graduation. So I'm like, oh, she probably looked at that and was confused. But
I'm glad now I like knows it all. I know it all.
yeah, I'm excited to start the program.
Yeah. So so both of y'all met, and I'm going to find Sarah, and I'll tell you a little bit about Sarah. Dr. Shadler, I'm not sure if you have ever met Dr. Shadler.
I haven't, but I've heard of her. So I think she teaches like a STEM course, and I really wanted to get in it, and I couldn't, but I heard really great things about